My consciousness was discarded like a used juice box. Whatever hit me must have been as hard as a Tonka truck. This had been no accident. Time passed. How long? Like this case, I had no clue. When I came to, my head was ringing. Like a broken phone, my head wouldn't stop ringing. No. Wait. Where's the phone? Ugh. I grabbed the phone that was lying on the floor, like a cranky 2-year-old finally taking the long nap. Wait, that wasn't my phone. And it's not ringing. So whose phone is this? I reached into my pocket, passing used gum and the only 2 quarters I had to my name. I grabbed my phone. Hello?
Did you find her yet?
That voice, as if my head weren't spinning enough. Not yet.
I'm not paying you to sleep on the job.
Don't worry, I said. A lead just hit me. I hold up the mystery phone. Though smashed, I could still make out the most recent calls. Looks like I have a visit to make. I can tell this is going to get more complicated than a misprinted Where's Waldo, so I should probably start at the beginning instead of going all Tarantino, whatever that means. Most diamonds have a rough edge. In the town of Northfield, my block would be that. This is where I live. It's not much, but I call it home. No pool in the backyard, no indoor sauna. We don't even have cable, but I get by. I live here with my sister Ayla and 2 other attendants. They make sure to pay their share of the bills and mine on time. So I try not to rough them up too much during those times when Play-Doh hits the fan. This is Ayla. Enough moxie and spunk for 15 4-year-olds. Or 1 60-year-old, if my math is correct. Puppy dog eyes that get whatever they want. Dangerous when their owner knows it. And she does. Luckily, all she usually wants is a tall glass of milk in the company of her stuffed friend you see here. This is Franklin. One of the quiet, brooding types. Doesn't say much, but doesn't need to. No one ever messed with Franklin. Until now, that is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. A few days ago, I was charged with the responsibility with taking Ayla to the park. Responsibility being my middle name, assuming that's what Noah means, I accepted the job.
Will my friends be at the park?
She said wistfully. Which ones?
Oh, you don't know them. They're new.
Blocks pass. Arriving at the park, Ayla exclaims,
Hey, there's the new buddies!
A creature of impulse, Ayla darts off like a dart darting off. Hey, Ayla, wait! My gravelly voice stops the deer in her tracks. She slowly walks back, appearing both angry and apologetic. I suspect the latter was merely for show. You need to listen to me when Mom and Dad are out. You can't just run off like that. A half-hearted sniffle again for show. She bounces back quickly.
Okay, sorry, and can I please go see my friends? Pretty please?
Not wanting to spoil a dame's good time, while at the same time seeking an opportunity for some relaxation, I acquiesce. She speeds off to greet her new friends. I lay down to greet my old friend, Mr. Sandman. I nod off.
Ah!
Only to be jolted awake by my sister's cries. My mates quickly bring me up to speed. The classic story. Bigger kids with hidden self-esteem issues decide to pick on a little girl, my sister. Someone would pay. But first, I had to find my sister and make things right. I found Ayla on the playground. She looked more deflated than an intramural basketball. I heard what happened.
Leave me alone, Aiden.
Sure you don't want to talk about it?
No, it was awful. They were so mean. Why were they so mean?
At least, famous last words, it can't get any worse.
No. No.
Franklin was taken. Ayla took it as well as it could be expected. My words fell harder than a kid on a defective slip and slide. Her best friend was gone, her heart broken. I'm so sorry, Ayla. It'll be okay.
This is your fault.
As if I didn't feel bad enough.
I'm sorry. I'm just...
It's okay, kid. I understand.
I don't know what to do. He can't be gone. He just can't be.
Listen, you got one thing going for you. Her baby blues locked mine. You got the city's best detective, under age 10, working the case.
Promise me. You'll find him?
Pinky. No one worth their salt breaks a pinky promise. The stakes were higher than a released birthday balloon, and I knew it. It was my first case, and this time, it was personal. I would not let my kid sister down. That bunny was coming home. I began the task of unraveling the crime the way any good detective would do it, by having a requisite, moody, contemplative period. Then I got to work. Later, Ayla found me furiously scratching at a half-crumpled paper with my faithful number 2 and curled up beside me.
What you doing?
She asked in a sweet tone. Making a list, I muttered, not looking up.
What kind of list?
It's our list of suspects. The case weighed on me like a weight forcefully placed on me. I didn't know where to start. I knew I needed information, so I went to the mole. Noel the mole. He's a kid who knows a thing or two about a thing or two. He had more scoops than a rich kid at Baskin-Robbins. If he didn't do the crime, he'd know something about it. Last I heard, he slept with the piggies. Meaning he hangs out at Wagner Farm a lot. Weird saying. I don't get it. I had to play it cool. Noel was a tough guy. Stays up after 8:30. Noel.
Name's Mole.
Mole.
What do you want, Flatfoot?
I don't have flat feet.
It's a euphemism.
What's that?
No idea. You gonna waste all day or you got something to say?
Someone rabbited with Ayla's bunny.
Is that a fact?
You know it is, Mole. Where were you when Franklin was snatched?
You're barking up the wrong tree, kid.
You can tell me what you know.
Or?
I'm gonna tell the other kids you like My Little Pony.
2015, gender stereotypes are lame. Plus, these days it's socially acceptable to be a brony.
I'll tell them you wet the bed.
Urinary issues are quite common, affecting both kids and adults alike.
What'll it take to refresh your recollection?
Oh my stars and garters. You offering a bribe?
My teacher calls it an incentive when she's tired.
I might be persuaded by a history lesson.
Washington?
Lincoln.
And $5 later, but the kid starts talking. Well, spill it!
Thanks for the 5 spot. Unfortunately, I have no idea what happened. But you know how it is. When you got a problem, you gotta see the doc.
The doc was in. Elijah was the kind of kid that didn't miss a thing. You're watching someone talk, Elijah's watching their hands. Take your wallet. Mostly he was quiet and looked disinterested in what unfolded around him. But that was just smoke and mirrors. Behind the blue marbles lay a brain working harder than lunch lady Guru on a sloppy Joe Wednesday. The mole sent me directly to Doc, which means he knows something, which means I needed to know that something too. You know I gotta ask.
I know, so ask.
The bunny?
Didn't do it.
Alibi?
Nurse's office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, sometimes little kids get pushed around. Sometimes I see that. Can't abide by it. Mostly just makes things worse for everyone involved.
How so?
My mouth talks bigger than my stature. Told that giant of a 5th grader Toby that he could suckle him in after I caught him dunking Ashley's head in a porcelain throne. He didn't appreciate that. My guts didn't appreciate his fist introduction. Hence nurse's office.
Sometimes you do the right thing and fate sticks out a foot to trip you. You got another chance to do the right thing, this time without a stomach rumbler. You have any idea what happened to Franklin?
Nothing specific. I'm hearing whispers in the corner of the playground about a heist. Get the sense that this is bigger than a snatch and a grab. The bunny has some big admirers. Heard he's more valuable than a Maltese falcon.
What's that?
Got me.
Who's been whispering the loudest?
You aren't gonna like this. Carter Pescadero.
Dang. Carter Pescadero was the worst kind of the worst kind, small but quick-tempered. I'd accuse him of the Napoleonic complex if he could understand it, or I could spell it.
Then she says, that's my insulin.
What's insulin?
Who cares? Anyway, it tasted awful.
No one knows why he is what he is, but everyone knows that he is what he is. Malicious, slimy thug in trouble one week, working on getting in trouble the next. Most kids try to stay off his radar because once he's locked on, he won't stop till you're sunk. Unfortunately for me, I'm walking right into the snake's den. His dad owned the joint, and let's just say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I thought something smelled funny.
Always a pleasure.
Thought I told you you ain't welcome here.
Thought it was a free country.
Not in here, it ain't.
You want me to exercise your right to refuse service?
Brandon Pescadero. If my mouth wasn't dry, this would be the part where I gulped. Practically inert without Carter telling him what to do. Unfortunately, what he's told to do usually involves hurting things much smaller than him. For instance, me.
Oh no, I'm bored. Let's hear something good.
Rabbit's gone missing. You know something about it.
Mighty bold accusation. Here we are sitting down for a pleasant meal of macaroni and cheese, and then you come barging into our affairs demanding to know about your little sister's missing bun.
I don't have time for this. Already heard you've been flapping your lip about Franklin.
That bunny has a lot of people interested in it.
Why, just a stupid stuffed bunny? Lord, the grief Ayla'd give me if she heard me say that. What's so dang special about it?
More than you know, but you're wasting your time. I don't have anything to do with the bunny snatch.
But you know who does. The light bulb moment. Finally. Because you want it. Suddenly, the room became arctic.
Brandon, why don't you take our friend here for a walk?
Start walking, kid.
I was barreling down the highway of pain with Brandon as my chauffeur.
Sorry, kid, nothing personal.
I haven't seen that much trouble since the noodle incident with that weird kid Kelvin. It's looking bad, that's what I'm saying. Man, I can't believe he bosses you around like that. You deserve better, you know? But I made it, Simon. Letting me go? Man, that sure showed that he can't talk to you that way. I can talk my way out of anything. I got a silver tongue. I got this. Besides, glasses gotta stick together. Or not. Hurts worse than it looked. Worse still, I bit my silver tongue. I got in my fighting stance, curling a ball. Wasn't looking forward to my new occupation as a human punching bag. But then... Huh? My eyes opened, revealing an angel with a broom. Best sister ever. As I'm counting my teeth, Ayla says,
I think we better get out of here.
Then pausing for a moment,
Think it'd be okay if I hit him again?
my sister, ladies and gentlemen. My heart says yes, but my brain says yes. She smacks Brandon one more time, then...
Don't tell her, folks, but that felt pretty good. We should probably amscray.
Hang on a sec. I reached into the 2-bit thug's pocket, expecting to find very little. But it's the last move I had. All the other leads had dried up more than a raisin with self-esteem issues. I'm fairly certain that an analogy makes no sense. Sue me, I'm only 10. My curiosity is met with Pokemon cards, used gum, and a scrap of paper that may have made that teeth rattler worthwhile.
Anything?
Asks the angel with a dirty face. Something. As we leave the scene, there was little doubt that by now Brandon was nursing 2 broom-shaped welts. Ayla and I headed up to our usual stomping grounds to regroup. Rob, the owner of the joint, read our faces and knew we were in dire need of our usual.
2 milkshakes, Fritz.
He yelled to his right-hand man.
Make mine a double.
You got it. Rough day, kid?
Maybe make it a triple.
Ayla claims our usual table like she owns the joint.
Thanks for the shake, brother.
Thanks for the save, sister.
So,
She didn't have to ask. Haven't found him yet.
you close?
Closer.
What do you mean?
Pescadero wants the doll,
He's not a dog.
she said, holding back tears. Though it's been a few days, her loss was clearly still fresher than a Whole Foods eggs. Sorry, wants Franklin. Still putting together the why of it all. But he ain't behind the snatch. I'd stake my allowance he's working with whoever it is.
Sound more like a guess.
She sounded like she had less hope than Princess Leia in episode 4. Maybe, but it's all we got at the moment, sweetheart. We nursed our shakes in the silence for 5 minutes. An eternity by kid time. Then,
So now what?
gotta figure out what these numbers mean.
Figure this out. I'm not paying you for nothing, Aiden.
You're paying me nothing, Ayla. We finish our shakes. I throw some lettuce on the table and we take it up on the heel and toe. That means I threw down a tip and we left. Detective lingo is hard work too. With nowhere else to go, we head back to our digs. Ayla has a play date with some dolls, so we say our goodbyes. I head upstairs to my room frustrated. I was out of clues. I was out of real suspects. I had no one to put the screws on for information. Just a torn, crumpled slip of paper. With nothing else to do, I give that slip of paper a good up and down for hours. I was lousy with questions, but had no answers. What did 427A mean? Was it an address? Did it have anything to do with Franklin? Or did I just rob a worthless scrap off that palooka while he took a hard nap? If there were answers buried somewhere in it, the bird wasn't chirping. A noise cut the silence like a butter knife through Play-Doh. I bounded out of bed like it was Saturday morning. It sounded like it was coming from downstairs. I head down the stairs to investigate. That's when it hit me. Ow! A dark ocean appeared at my feet. I dove in. It had no bottom. Time passed. An odd feeling of deja vu washed over me as I made my acquaintance with reality once more. After a brief conversation with my kid sister, I examined the busted phone again. My head was still fuzzy from taking a cooler, but unlike my last math test, things were starting to add up. I was certain it was Brandon who knocked me out again. I have to remember to pay him a visit. How was I so sure? Because the scrap of paper I lifted off of him was now gone. Now I'm sure that paper was important. My other clue was that it was Brandon who made me fly without wings. This busted phone has a sticker that says, "If lost, called Brandon Pescadero." How could someone call him if he lost his phone? For the second time in one day, I was glad to have my noggin scrambled because it gave me the next clue. Soon.
Do you even have an Uncle Bob?
What's that now?
You said we were heading to our Uncle Bob's.
Uncle Bob isn't a relative, it's a storage place.
Where are we heading there?
Brandon called that place a bunch just before calling Carter, so that's the first place we're checking.
What are we checking?
On 427.
Huh?
Welcome to Uncle Bob's.
A kind face, a lucky break. Michaela Ray. Hey, doll, what dragged you into this den of, storage? That last fall seemed to have erased all the cool detective lingo from my melon.
Uncle Bob's my Uncle Bob. Working here is an easy way to make a few extra bucks.
How'd you like to make a few extra more?
Go on.
You got a storage unit 427A?
Sure do. Why?
How much for you to look the other way if we sniff around?
Not looking to get involved with your crazy shenanigans. Things always end up sideways.
It's not for me. I'm a Layla's doll. All signs point to that unit being important.
Why didn't you say it was Rayla? Consider my head turned.
Much obliged. One more question, though.
Yeah?
Who owns the unit?
Can't say.
What can make you say?
No, I mean I can't say. Those are in Uncle Bob's books. I don't get to see those.
Well, you know who's been using it?
There's hundreds of units, hundreds of people going in and out. Sorry, I can't help more.
No worries, you're helping plenty, doll. Just then she walked in, Shalise. My girl Tuesday because she's my girl and I see her on Tuesday. Usually I'm happy to see her. But why is she here? Why now? Is she mixed up in this nonsense? My mind races like a really good analogy about fast things. Following closely behind her is Rowan, my cousin with a wit sharper than a serpent's tooth.
Aiden, what are you doing here?
I'll ask you the same thing. What gives?
We're on a case.
Shalise shoots Rowan a dirty look. Pardon?
Heard you were earning some bank solving people's problems. Thought I could solve problems too. Figured this was a big town with bigger problems.
Northfield ain't that big a town, sweetheart.
Big enough. Heard a good little girl lost a rabbit. I'm the type of girl to check every burrow till I find it.
Who hired you?
No one. Figured this case would make a name for myself.
Awfully convenient. We followed the trail here, only to find you come in at the same time. My money's on you.
Funny. My money is on you.
Come again?
Girl loses a doll. Parents gotta replace it. Probably get something for the elder brother too, so he isn't jealous. All that happens if the doll disappears.
That's crazy. No, it wasn't. It made sense. This girl's good.
It's not that crazy. But don't worry, big guy. I don't really think that. Just keeping you on your toes. You don't really think I took Franklin, do you?
I gotta exhaust every possibility, and it is odd that you come here same exact time we do.
Fair enough. Use your mind as an alibi?
Please.
I wasn't at the playground, let alone Northfield, let alone Illinois, time the bunny was taken. I was out of town and can show you the plane ticket to prove it.
Good alibi.
Why is Rowan with you?
Every detective needs a sassy, intelligent sidekick.
Hey, that's compliment, kid. Oh, dang right.
Now, can we dispense with the accusations?
Thankfully, yes. Better idea. How about we snoop around together?
Long as no one notices.
My eyes are turned that way, but be quick. Uncle Bob's coming soon.
Thanks, Michaela.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
The four of us entered the sprawling storage facility. It was a maze of hallways in every direction. Wandering King Minos' labyrinth would be less confusing. I doubt if we searched here for days we would ever find
Here it is.
Unit 427A. Behind it, I was confident we would find Franklin.
It's locked.
Any idea how to open it?
Just one. I removed the crumpled piece of paper I swiped from Brandon. I spin the lock numbers around 237. The lock gives up like a kid studying algebra. Moment of truth. We swing the door open, greeted by nothing but a bunch of empty, moldy boxes. A crushing wave of defeat washed over me.
Where's Franklin? You said he would be here.
I don't get it. Eyes darted around the unit over and over again, as though Franklin would be here somehow, mysteriously appear if we searched the same spot repeatedly. I reach on top of the nearby box and grab a piece of paper resting on top. Wait a minute.
What is it?
This is me, speechless.
What the?
Franklin!
It must have been a message for Brandon.
Proof that they, whoever had him.
Yep, and was ready to exchange him. I'm guessing Brandon would see this, drop off some dough, leave, and later come back to find the dough gone and Franklin waiting for him.
The drop-off point.
Yeah, if only we knew what to drop off.
But we don't. So how do we catch the culprit?
What's a culprit? Can we just hide here until the carpet comes back?
Culprit?
Until the culprit comes back?
Yeah, we can have a sleepover.
I'm not sure that...
Aiden? Who is that?
We all froze. He could be anyone. He could just be some paying customer. But my guts knew better. Freeze! It must have been opposite day because that guy shot off like a bullet. We can't let this guy get away. Shalise, Rowan, go that way. Ayla down the hall with me. We split up, scouring Minos' labyrinth for our Minotaur.
Hurry! Come on, Aiden. This way.
I see him.
Rowan, synonym for fearless.
Ayla, help me.
Ah! We got him!
Don't let go.
Shalise quickly joins the fracas.
We got him, Aiden.
Hitting him hurt. My hand stung like a bee. I didn't even notice. I sure hope this guy is our guy, otherwise I'm in a lot of trouble. I reach into the perp's coat. I feel a familiar fuzziness that was gonna make my sister's day.
Franklin! You did it, Aiden. I knew you would.
It was a good feeling, but I knew we weren't done yet. Let's see who this mystery man is. I pull off the hat, revealing Elijah Brand. You! But why?
Why? Why? Because every single day, I had to watch that little girl lug around the most valuable doll ever known. I knew if I scored that doll, it'd have been the biggest payday a kid ever got.
This doll! Brand struggled to break free, but the girls held him tighter than a vice that had not yet become defective.
Yes! Of course, you fool!
You're out of your gourd. There's nothing special about this doll.
Hey!
You know what I meant.
Wrong. Its eyes. Its eyes are priceless. I heard from a 3rd grader, who heard from a 6th grader, whose dad is a jewelry store owner, that the eyes of that doll are worth jabillions of dollars.
You heard it from a 3rd grader.
Well,
A 3rd grader?
it sounded reasonable at the time.
That is so stupid.
That's my girl. A short time later, a friend of mine will be stopping by soon to pick Brand up. He's a hall monitor.
A hall monitor? That's a funny kind of friend.
Well, he's a funny kind of hall monitor. Here he is now.
Where are we taking him?
To detention.
What's detention night?
Let me tell you, those doors only open 3 times. When you come in, when you've served your time, or when you die.
What? When you die?
Sorry, I got lost in thought. I meant pee, when you have to pee.
Oh, come on, you.
This isn't over. I'll get you, Aiden. And your little bunny, too.
As he escorted away, he rattled off some more cliches.
Thanks, Aiden.
No prob, doll. Truth told, I couldn't have done it without you. Without all of you. Guys, I think this is going to be a start of a beautiful friendship.
We've been friends for years.
Oh, right. Then I think this is going to be a continuation of a beautiful friendship. As the sun sets slowly in the west, we take our leave, Franklin included. Brandon Pescadero, I did not forget about you. I intend to give him what's his. I believe this is yours. Brandon can't take his eyes off the phone he dropped while healing from my flat. He's caught and he knows it. The look on his face is worth all the TNT Vana. That place is expensive. Brandon lunges at me, but this time I'm ready for him. In the background, I hear Mike and Sam enter the room to take Brandon to detention. As I leave, I impart a little wisdom. Stay out of Northfield. Those privileges have just been revoked. Remind him when he wakes up, boys.
chase till the minute I win it. A beautiful face till there is love for me in it. Give me your heart and baby I'll bill it, 'cause I always kill the things I love. Some folk would die for the sake of